Now in today's video, this is something I've been kind of talking about for a little bit, but there are some things on this Jeep that I thought would look pretty neat paint match. But in this video, I wanted to talk about paint matching the beadlock rings or the mimic beadlock rings on the factory Xtreme Recon wheels. I thought personally it would be a great mix up between that dark slate or granite gray and then this super bright high velocity color. And honestly, I wanted to see if I could do it and kind of do it at a reasonable price too. Now the first step though, we got to hop into the Jeep and head down to my friend at our local Napa store. We're going to get this paint color actually mixed up just for this Jeep. All right, guys, so we just got here. Now, this one is in my hometown in Lebanon. A good friend of mine, they have 3 Napa stores. So it's Miller & Bixler, Napa Auto Parts. If you guys are local to the area and are looking for either parts or even the paint to match, it's a great place to do it. So if I can, I always try and support local. And this is a good friend of mine. We're gonna go in and actually match this paint color. He came out and was like, yeah, that's pretty bright. So what's cool about here is they come out and he grabbed the paint code and the VIN number, and they actually make their own spray paint cans in here. So it's pretty neat that they can make that into an aerosol can and I can just spray these rings. It's not crazy expensive for what you get in exact color. So if you guys got like an older JK or even another JL that you have this style wheel on and want to get a paint match color, this is a great way to do it. So if you're local here, definitely swing in, give these guys a shout, tell them that Matt sent you. But if you're not local, swing by on our Amazon. We'll drop some links down below and you can easily pick up a paint match color and have it shipped right to your door. It's sometimes easier if you're not close to a place like this, just to have it shipped to your door, get ready for the project and have it waiting for you. There's a color right there. So once again, shout out to Devin. Thanks for hooking it up today. I really appreciate getting all that paint, but we are back and it's time to work. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do on the spare wheel and tire to pull this off. Same process applies for all of it. So we're gonna need a T40 Torx bit to pull all of these bolts off. I believe there are 32 per wheel. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with them. Honestly, I think I have another plan to maybe touch these up or paint them up because they're already kind of corroding here down below. So I wanna get these looking nice and gloss black as well as that ring all painted up. So let's go ahead and we'll pull all these off first. Here's another thing I thought of. So we'll kind of pause right here. Also, I want to match the bolt hole with the place on the ring where it sits. So if you guys get what I mean, when you're gonna pull these off, I'm debating like if it's gonna throw off the balance of the wheel at all or the balance of the tire or how all that was done. So I'm gonna actually make a mark on the inside of the ring here at this bolt hole and the inside there. So when we go to put them back, I can see this one was my spare and here was where the bolts line up and we can put it right back. All right, so Dad's here and he's always like finding a little bit of quirky things that I miss, but we don't really need to make a line because there's a cutout here for the valve stem. So thanks, Dad, for that. I'm just gonna still write spare on the back so I know which ring went where. But yeah, that's how you align it. So look at that. You're gonna be the ultimate like fact checker. Yeah, fact checker. Wait. All right, let's pull it off. I believe these are aluminum rings too. So on the back here, you can kind of see there is a part number. So if you guys want to pick up a new set and maybe keep the same that you have on there and maybe just have 2 sets of them, I'm just going to write spare on here. That way I know which one it was. I'm not really too concerned about, hitting the back of here. I just want to make sure I get both of the outer edges with paint. That way that looks cool too. But I'm just going to write spare right above here. Spare. That way I know which way it went back on. All right, guys, so we got them all off. We've got them on a table here too as well. And what I found out, I was gonna go with like almost a 320 or 400 grit sandpaper, but one of these Brillo pads or like kind of the sanding sponges, one of these just rougher here, I tried a section and it just roughed it up. So that's what I want. I want it to be a rough surface and then I'll give it a good clean so that way we get good paint adhesion to it. This is probably the most important step of this, is getting this ready to be painted. So projects like this are fun, guys. I would say this is really nice because you could do this quickly on a weekend. You don't have to pull the wheels and tires off your Jeep. It's like $100 to do this. So it's really not that hard. And as you can see, I've already got these pretty scuffed up. Now I'm gonna go around each wheel and I wanna get like in here. So in this groove, go around this whole thing. And the point of this is to sand it, but not go like too crazy. Like you don't have to like rip off all the paint, get it down to bare steel or in this case, bare aluminum. You're just trying to get the top coat roughed up so it actually has some bite to it. But this will make the final product look really, really nice. All right, guys, so honestly about a half hour later, it's a pretty good breezy day out here. We sanded it. It didn't take too long to prep those. It's not much material when it comes down to it. But what we're gonna do next, I got the air compressor fired up. You can hear it in the background. I wanna give these just a good spray off with the spray gun. And then I actually mixed a little TSP with some water down there. So that's the trisodium phosphate. It's kind of the substitute. That's the concentrated bottle. So I mix it with a little water and I'm gonna give this a whole clean off. Now, there's a couple different ways and I know I'll be debated on the way I clean these off, but I've had a lot of luck cleaning off different parts with that. And I'll let you guys know the results. I don't think anything's gonna hurt it, but I'll put those on after I blow this off because you wanna make sure that you get all the sediment, all the crud, any little debris from sanding, even that Brillo pad kind of wears off on it. You wanna get that all blown off with the spray gun or give it a good wipe down. Prep work is the most important in this project. So this is the key to it. Painting is gonna not take that long. This is the key to it, making sure it's done right. All right, guys, I did touch a couple of areas up just with a Brillo pad. I noticed there was a little bit of gloss coming through. I got the TSP solution mixed in the water bottle. Here you can see it's obviously in there. I'm gonna use a couple of these blue shop towels, get it really nice and cleaned up. Should help though, guys. It's a breezy day out, so we just wanna get these nice and cleaned up and let them just dry out for a minute so all that evaporates. Give them a real good cleaning. You can see already, just as I wipe on, this is a heavy duty cleaner, so it's really gonna clean it up and get them ready for paint. So here's the importance of kind of wiping it off. You can see there's the debris kind of tucked in there, and that's even after we blew it off with a high pressure air gun. So definitely get this thing cleaned up and really make sure that to spend the extra time. It's only I would say probably towards the end of this, it's a couple hour project at most. So it's something you can kind of do on a Sunday, do in between maybe football games. Go out there, get your Jeep, pull it apart, let it coat dry, have a beer, let it dry some more, and then do it again. Have maybe another beer, then maybe the painting gets worse. So we're ready to go. We got the things sanded, cleaned off, they're dry. Dad's draining the air compressor over there. We got the high velocity yellow and the custom paint can we had done in there at Napa. So I'm excited about this. And honestly, this can feels heavy. So we probably have a lot more left over for other spray projects, which is gonna be cool because say you wanted to like paint match a Factor 55 link or do something else cool, you got an extra can of paint here. Or if you need to just touch up, we actually got that mini can too. Devin gave it to me. So I got a little paintbrush. And if we get little rock chips, just that throws up too. So definitely dual purpose. I'm so excited to see these. The Jeep looks weird without the rings on. So these are gonna turn into high velocity yellow beadlock rings. And hopefully you guys have followed this long in the video and do this at home on yours too. Safety first. All right, guys, so kind of in the midst of let that first coat dry, we did want to paint the other bolts on here. So if you guys are watching this a couple years down the road, we painted the beadlock, the imitation ring bolts. So ours even had a little bit of corrosion on them already. Honestly, it's probably covered under warranty, but I just didn't want to go in and deal with it. So we got a can of semi-gloss black. We're just going to give them a quick coat on here. This is a good tip for using parts, is just using an old cardboard box from Amazon, one here. So you can just poke them all in and then make sure the heads and threads are exposed, get all of them sprayed, and then I might even throw a little bit of anti-seize on those bolt heads when I put them back into the vehicle. That way in the winter, they don't rust or corrode now that they were exposed a little bit. So, all right, guys, well, this has been a very fun project, and through the magic of video editing, it is actually the next day. And there wasn't any bad reasons why this is the next day to film. It was just simply that I wanted to really let these things bake, sit in the sun, and cure overnight before I decided to install them back on the Jeep. And I gotta say, I am absolutely thrilled with the results that I have here behind me. So the next thing we did after we painted all of our bolts, it is always wise to give a couple coats of clear coat onto all of the products that you're gonna be doing. These are gonna be outside in the weather, in the snow, the dirt, the mud, and everything like that. So we gave 2 to 3 coats of automotive clear coat throughout the entire thing. This is a great budget project, and I would say we're coming into the fall season, right? So I know a lot of you guys behind this screen are watching television, you're watching the football games on Saturdays and Sundays. So this is a great project to kind of do in between that. I would say all in, I might have 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and that's removing all the rings, getting them prepped up, getting them painted, and then obviously it takes a little longer to cure, but you're not really sitting there watching them cure unless you want to. Overall though, this was a really easy project as well. So a lot of you guys with Xtreme Recons, even if you're watching this now and you just got it, or you're watching it years down the road, I already noticed corrosion on a lot of my bolts, so I wanted to fix those right away. Give them a nice coat of black and a nice coat of clear coat as well. All in though, I think I have maybe $80 into this project. So we worked with a local company, Devin, huge shout out. I would say though, if you guys are debating this, I'm hoping this has kind of cleared a little bit of air and see exactly what it looks like with the contrast of the granite wheels, as well as just the dark tire on there too. This will work with any beadlock wheel. So if you've got a beadlock wheel or a wheel with a ring that you can remove, you can follow the same steps, really make it cleaned up and give your Jeep a custom touch for less than $100. I don't think you could ask for better than this. And honestly, I'm super thrilled just at the way it changed the aesthetic of the whole Wrangler. But I want to know in the comment, if you guys are still watching at this point, which thank you for watching all the way to the end, what else should I color match on this? We've got some cool ideas. Drop a comment below. What do you want to see color matched and how to do it? Until next time though, I am Matt from Dirt Road CRED. Get out there and earn yours.